Reporting from the August House, he joins me right now live within the studio to make sense of the issues coming in from the August House as far as the National Social Security Fund is concerned. A very good evening, dear brother. How are you doing today?
Good evening, and thank you for the...
A pleasure to have you here on NTV tonight.
A pleasure too.
Indeed, bring us up to speed with the latest details surrounding this case coming in from the August House. The Parliament Select Committee, recommending for the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development to resign immediately. Bring us up to speed with the details surrounding this case, the genesis, where we came from.
So, of course, what we need to understand is the genesis of all this. You remember around December, we were having information regarding 6 billion shillings making rounds on social media that it had been asked by the minister. Of course, later on, we got to understand that the minister had actually gone to the IGG asking her to investigate the former managing director, that is Richard Byarugaba. So that's how also Parliament picked it up after it became an issue of public concern. And the Speaker, mid-January, raised it in the House, saying that it appears our money with NSSF, savers' money, workers' money may not be safe, and therefore this matter needs to be investigated. And that's how a 7-member committee led by the Mbarara City South MP, that is Mpaka Mwine, was instituted to investigate this. Of course, they were given 5 key terms of reference that they should have looked at. But at the end of it all, the committee has managed to unearth very many things that possibly we could have not known about, because NSSF is this organization that the public outside there, I think in terms of PR, they have done very well, and it is one of the institutions, 17 trillion shillings we are talking about this, is one of those institutions that you'd admire. But then it appears what is happening beneath is a different story altogether. If you're talking of investment that was done with Uganda Clays Limited of about 11 billion shillings, and then at a certain stage it was paused. The interest, it went to about 20 billion shillings. Wouldn't have known about that. There was a golf course in Arua that it was the fund invested in. But all the same, the report is saying that was a loss to the savers. So this is how we find ourselves. Of course, the bigger one now, it goes back to the minister who petitioned IGG to have the former managing director, Byarugaba, investigated, but also look at the fund generally. Now, the whole thing has bounced back to her, where the committee is saying it was wrong for her to ask for the 6 billion shillings that she had claimed that it is to pull more people to save with the NSSF. And according to the management and the board, as we heard from during the interaction between the committee and the members of the board, the management and different stakeholders, that money had already been provided for in the budget of NSSF, and therefore there was no need for the minister to ask for the money. So it was outside her mandate to ask for that money, and this is why she's being incriminated in this report. So
you do have a 500-page report that was authored by the Parliamentary Select Committee. Would like to know the contents of this report. What was eye-catching for you as Jackson Onyango, who has been on the ground following this case for us?
I think a little bit of everything is very crucial, because we are talking about your money, my money, and somebody's money outside there. People sweat to save, and therefore at the end of the day, they want to get what is due to them. Possibly, if all is done right, yes, we are talking of the last time we were given the 9% interest rate. Somebody will argue that possibly if everything is done right, NSSF will not be at a 17 trillion fund, but possibly a 25 trillion fund. What would that mean to the interest that would be given out to me? Possibly it would be 15 or 20. That's a lot of money we are talking about. So every bit, because, the committee managed to do this investigation for a period of 2 weeks. So there could be too much that the committee did not unearth, given the terms of reference, the limited terms of reference that was given. But possibly if a forensic audit is done on NSSF, much could be unearthed that could show that actually our money possibly is not safe, just as what the report is now saying. Because like I've told you, if you're talking of the NSSF, the NSSF headquarters, where it is located, there was a case between the fund and Alcon, and that case the Supreme Court ruled on it in favor of NSSF, and therefore there should not be any issue of contention between NSSF and Alcon. But the land title was still with the lawyers who was standing in for Alcon.
Indeed.
So which means we could have a scenario one time when somebody would claim this building is actually seated on our land. Where is the title? We have it. You are talking of the Temangalo land, where we are told that about 4 plots of land are still in the names of Amos Nzei. They have not been transferred. And you know, the management was asked that what if just by any circumstance anything happens and maybe that person is no more? If the children came out and claimed that this property belongs to us, and you remember this land was purchased exorbitantly.
Indeed.
Therefore, that matters. Everything in this report is so important.
Everything in this report is so important. Those are the last words coming in from my counterpart, Jackson Onyango. Thank you so much for making the time to speak to NTV tonight and making sense of the issues coming in from the August House. The viewers couldn't be more appreciative of